Some houses carry a presence, a feeling, a weight that settles in your chest the moment you step inside. Not every shadow is empty, not every silence is harmless. And sometimes, a place doesn't let go, even when you leave. I thought I left my aunt's basement behind, but it followed me home. I never felt comfortable in my aunt's house. The first 2 floors were fine, but something always felt off. Then there was the basement. It was more than just a cold, unfinished space. It felt like stepping into another world, one where something unseen was always waiting. The first time I stayed there alone, I made a mistake. I spent the entire day in the basement, watching horror movies. By the next morning, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The air was heavy, pressing down on me like unseen hands. But I convinced myself it was just my imagination, until I came back for the second time. My aunt mentioned that her dogs wouldn't go into the basement. I hadn't noticed it before, but now that I thought about it, she was right. They followed me everywhere. They slept beside me. But the moment I stepped toward the basement, they froze. Their ears perked, their bodies tensed, and they refused to go any further. I avoided the basement as much as I could, but I had no choice. I had to go down there for the laundry, for food. Every time the air grew colder, the silence became unbearable. I felt the weight of unseen eyes on me. Then, one night, I found the basement door open. I always shut it. Always. But something had opened it. That's when the nightmares started. I was always standing at the top of the stairs, staring into the darkness. But in the dreams, the lights were never on. The basement was endless, an abyss of pure black. And then, something grabbed me. It wrapped around my ankles and yanked me down. I could feel myself falling, tumbling into the void, unable to scream. And just before I hit the bottom, I would wake up, gasping, heart pounding. I had those nightmares every time I stayed at my aunt's house. But the last time was different. After that final visit, the nightmare followed me home. For the first time, I wasn't in her basement. I was in mine. And the thing that pulled me down? It wasn't tied to my aunt's house. It was tied to me. Some places were never meant to be explored. Some doors were never meant to be opened. But when you're young, you ignore those instincts. You think it's all just a game until the game plays back. We thought we were just having a fun sleepover. We thought the basement was just another dark room. We thought we were safe. We were wrong. It started like any normal sleepover. Laughter, snacks, birthday cake. The house was warm and full of life. But the basement was different. It had no windows, no light, just cold cement walls and an old wooden staircase that groaned under every step. We didn't think much of it until we heard it. A low, heavy thump, muffled, distant, coming from below. Curiosity won. We crept toward the basement door, peering down the stairs. The darkness was thick, swallowing the light. But there was nothing there, just silence. We laughed it off. Maybe something fell. Maybe it was the house settling. We convinced ourselves it was nothing. Hours passed. The house grew quiet. The adults went to sleep. It was just us now. And at 1 a.m., we made a terrible decision. One of our friends left to use the bathroom upstairs. We barely noticed she was gone. Then, deep in the dark, a voice echoed through the basement. "Mother, Mother, I'm down here." We froze. The voice was familiar. It was our friend, the one who had just gone to the bathroom. But she wasn't here, she was upstairs. Something else was speaking in her voice. We weren't alone. A presence filled the basement, watching, waiting. Then we saw it. A tall, unnatural shape in the darkness. Crawling. Its limbs were impossibly long, twisting as it slithered across the floor, and its face, 2 white, glowing eyes staring right at us. Then it moved. Fast. We ran, scrambling up the stairs, shoving each other to get out. My heart pounded so hard I thought I would collapse. The thing didn't chase us, but its eyes followed. We slammed the basement door shut, locking it, breathing hard, trembling. Then we turned. Our little friend was sitting on the couch. She never went into the basement, she never moved. So who, or what, was dragged into the dark? We never spoke about it again. But we never forgot those eyes, those glowing, inhuman eyes watching us from the dark. What was it? A demon, a skinwalker, a ghost? I don't want to know. All I know is something is still down there, and it knows we saw it.